Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I have update number 1 for you for my Panda palette. And as you can see, we're in a different space today. I was filming a get ready with me here, and I also organized my makeup while filming. So if you are interested in that, that will be coming up soon as well. I'm in my beauty space at the moment, and I'm still figuring out the lighting situation, where to sit, how to make this work. But this is in the future going to be my filming spot as well, so I thought, why not give it a try, see how it works. Still figuring out the lighting, where to sit. I don't feel like this is the most enticing background just yet, but I've got a bookcase that's still not fully ready to go that maybe can function as part of a background as well. Anyway, it doesn't matter. You guys aren't here to hear about my bookcase that's still half falling apart, or here for my Panda palette update. So let's jump in, starting off with the Smoky Eyes Trio from Bourjois in Nude and Ingenu. Let's take a quick look at what that one looked like last time. Of course, I only had the medium brown shade left, and my goal was to hopefully hit pan on that shade at the very least. Well, this is where we are right now. Hard to see, but do you see it there? I do have pan on this shade, and I'm really excited to finally see that pan popping up. I've used this one 9 times since last time, so not a major amount, but like I'm not too rushed with this one either. It would be nice not to have you show you like the one shadow, and I know some people tell me to repress, but I, especially now that I have that pan, but before that as well, I just feel like every single time I'm using it, I can see progress. And when I repress it, I feel, to me, it feels like starting from scratch again, which might just be a weird like thing in my head, but that's just how it works for me. So I'm not gonna repress it. I'm gonna keep showing this to you guys by itself in this palette, and we're just gonna keep using it. My goal is to use it at least 10 times every month. I've only used it 9 this time, which isn't completely where I wanted to get to, but I've said it in so many videos already. Like, I've been traveling. I was out of the country for a week. I did not bring this one with me, so that kind of took away from the possibility of me using this a little bit more. And then like the way that I'm using this normally as a transition shade, like there's other shades that I want to use, oops, like that as well. So yeah, sometimes it just doesn't work out, and this month was one of those times. But 9 uses is still good, and I hit pan, so that's really excited. I'm looking forward to seeing that pan expand and hopefully finish this one off in the next couple of months. I don't know how long it's gonna take us. Anyway, next we're moving on to my Amuse palette. Let's take a quick look at what that one looked like last time. And for that one, my main focus at the moment is the green shade. I was hoping to get close to finishing that one off, and apart from that, I just wanted to play around a little bit. And this is where we are right now. As you can see, the green is not completely gone yet, but like, it's been fun. I've been playing around with these shades more again, which is, it's almost like starting with a new palette. For some reason, I've just been gravitating like across the board with this palette as well. So let's talk through the shades one by one. And I'm just gonna mention the ones that are still left in here. The gray shade I have used 7 times since last time. This palette did go with me on like my travel, and the gray shade was kind of my darkening up shade that I used most of the time. Got that in my outer corner right now as well. It's not that dark, so it doesn't like really create the depth that I'm usually looking for, but every now and then it's fine. Like, it doesn't always have to be like a really deep outer corner. So I have a feeling that the pan definitely expanded because I'm using it with a more like targeted brush. I feel like more of the product is kind of moving than I have seen with some other shades where the brushes are a bit more fluffy, for example. So it's just the area where I use the brush, you can definitely see it start moving instead of it just wearing away like more of the like eyeshadow at a more leveled pace, if that makes sense. But yeah, 7 uses, so I'm really happy with that. Then the green shade I have used 8 times since last time. Also, like, that was a shade that I used a lot when I was traveling. I didn't finish it all the way, and I could have definitely done that if I would have focused on it more. But I wanted to play around with my Panda's eyeshadow shades as well. I wanted to play around with like some other things in other projects, and that just meant that I didn't go for this all the time. But I'm fine with that because I know I can finish this off in the next month and it will be gone and I won't have to think about that shade anymore. But I do really like it. I have it on my eyelids today as well. It's a nice shade because it's a green, but it has like a golden sheen to it as well. So it's like nice, warm. It still has some lightness to it because of that golden shade. So I really enjoy using this one, and I'm gonna appreciate it for the last couple of uses that I still have left in that one. And then we have the red shade. And the red shade I have used 4 times since last time, which I'm also pretty excited about. I'm just quickly moving some things around so I can see my markings. 4 times, that's not like a major amount, but it's definitely more than I have been doing in a lot of other like updates. So I've found ways to use this. I like it in kind of like my crease, so like really warm up things. I've used it in my outer corner a little bit as well, and I've like at a certain point used this one topped with the yellow shade as well. I haven't really tried it yet with my NYX or NYX yellow gold pigment, and I'd actually be curious to see how it works. Oftentimes I feel like with pigments, the pigment in the end just tends to have the overhand because it's more pigmented. But it might be interesting to see how that works because I like the bronzy shade that I got with this one together with the yellow in the past. So I found multiple ways to use it, and that is very exciting. Then we have the blue shade, and also the blue shade I managed to use 5 times over the last month without even pushing myself to use the blue, because as you guys know, blue is like one of my least favorite colors to wear. I do definitely gravitate towards the warmer tones. And the blue I've really liked with purple recently. So I would put the purple more on the outer part of my lid, the blue on the inner part, and it just really works because it's not just blue. I could try and like make the purple still have the upper hand in the look, but still there is that little bit of blue that just merges really nicely into a purple. So that's how I've been using the shades in here. And then of course we've got the blush as well. The blush I have used 16 times over the last month, which I would have expected to use it a little bit more, but I still had like my, what was it, whole collection project pan, a blush in there that I wanted to use just a few more times before ending that project. So I did at the start of the month. I played around with that a little bit, which made that I didn't like get as many uses on this one as I could have. Still no pan. It's fine. Like I like wearing the blush and like it looks fine, but like the idea, like how long I've already been working on this guy and it's just not really moving, it's just crazy to me. Talking about that, let me actually go through the full amount of numbers. So the gray shade with the additional 7 times, I have now used 53 times in total. The green shade with the additional 8, I've used 93. So I might be able to finish that off in just under 100 uses. The red shade with the 4 uses comes to 26 in total. The blue with the 5 comes to 15. So I've used it half the amount of times that I used it in the complete year of 22. That's definitely an achievement. And for the blush with the 16 uses on top of it, I've come to a total of 142 uses. So 142 uses and I still don't have pan. I can definitely see like on the sides of it that I have to be close to it. It's impossible for me to be really far away from it still, but that it's like this side is a bit more like dented, but this side is definitely still higher up. So still got a lot of work to do on that one. Then the one that I rolled in last time, this is the Catrice Seasons Must Have palette. Let me open it so it won't be as reflective. Hopefully you can see that I have definitely expanded the pan on this shade, but let's again also with this one go through them one by one, starting with the somebody told me what type of shade it was and I forgot again. For some reason I can't remember, like every time I'm forgetting what to call this type of shade, like the darkish purpley, like warmer toned shade. Yeah, I forgot again. But I have used that one 7 times since last time. Also this one I've used a lot when I was traveling. That was, I did just say that the gray was my outer corner shade as well, right? I feel like I actually went for this one more. So I've used the gray at other random times, I guess. Yeah, but I've used this in my outer corner a lot. It's definitely a bit more powdery, so it doesn't stay as dark as I would like it to, but it works. There definitely is a bit of a dip in there right now. You can see that I'm using it with a more like targeted brush because I'm only using it on my outer V, so I don't want to like have it go all over the place, and I can make it a bit more impactful doing it that way as well. So 7 uses, no pan yet, but the dip is definitely starting to show. Then the gray shade I had just about hit pan on before I rolled it into this project. I've used it an additional 9 times since last time, and the pan has expanded. But for 9 uses, I would have expected it to expand a little bit more, which it didn't, which is promising for the rest of this year, but let's see how that will go. Once I finish off the brown in my Smoky Eyes trio from Bourjois, this will definitely be my main like crease shades, my main transition shade, since it is a pretty much matte shade. So I do know that I will have plenty of use for that in the upcoming months still. Then this shade I'm using as my brow bone highlight right now. It's kind of like a champagne-y shade, and I had some pan in there already when we started, but I've used it another 19 times since then, and the pan has definitely grown on that one. I can definitely see it getting bigger. My expectation is that towards the middle of the year this one will already be completely gone, and I'm gonna have to find something else to use as my brow bone highlight again. I haven't used it on my lid a lot yet. I think I may have done that once or twice just to play around with it a little bit as well. It works okay, but I've got so many other colors that I want to play with that, like, a champagne color like this is not per se the one that I gravitate towards the most. So I don't mind mainly using that up as my brow bone shade. Then the teal shade, that's the only one that I have not used, which I feel a little bit bad about, but it's a smaller eyeshadow, so I think I should be okay. How that it's 1.5 grams in there, which is 0.05 ounces. Still not like small, but it's definitely smaller. I already have pan on that one, and I think that this will be like a nice enough like transition shade as well. It's more on the matte side too. I just haven't gravitated towards that yet, and like when I already am pulling for like more cool tone shades and I've got that blue in a look already, yeah, I have to figure that out still a little bit. I definitely don't want to forget about this one until we're nearing the end of the year, because that definitely is the type of shade. Even though this was the first one, I think it is now, maybe this one actually. One of the first ones anyway that I had pan on in this palette. I think it's definitely going to take me a little while to use that one up. I just need to make sure to use it at least a couple of times every time I update you guys. And then probably towards the end of the year, especially when we go into the colder months again, although we're in colder months now as well. So I definitely need to figure out how to use that one more. Maybe I can pair it with the greens that I'm working on as well in my Pendos eyeshadows. Just a thought there. Okay, so that is like how I've been doing. Now let's talk things that I want to focus on. Definitely want to get at least 10 uses on this guy again. I want to make sure that I roll this one out hopefully towards the middle of the year at the latest as well. So I want to make sure I keep working on this one and not get distracted too much by other things. In my Amuse palette, like I'm definitely going to finish off the green shade, and I'm hoping to like still use the other shades just a nice amount of times. It doesn't have to be like a crazy amount of times. I do feel like I will be able to get through this within the year, but since this is the oldest palette, I would love to finish it off before the end of the year, because that would already mean 2 years of working on it. But I feel like since that blush is still going to take me forever anyway, there's no need to rush through the other shades in here because the palette is still going to be here basically. So finish off the green shade, that's the main goal for this one. Maybe try and hit side pan on that red as well. I definitely want to use the blue a few more times because we're still in the cooler months at the moment, so that will make it a little bit easier to incorporate it, because come spring summertime probably won't be feeling the blues very much anymore. And then for this one, definitely gonna keep working on this guy. I might be able to hit side pan at the bottom. That would be a good goal. I'm kind of thinking, I don't know if it will be too much for me to ask to try and hit pan on this shade, but think that could be an interesting goal. I know I want to use the dark blue in my Pendos eyeshadows definitely a couple of times in the upcoming months. It might take away from me using the gray in my other palette though, but yeah, I think I'm gonna set that as a goal anyway, because it's definitely gonna take me some time to get through that completely. So let's see if I can do that. Hit pan on this shade. Yeah, so basically that is a few goals that I'm gonna be working on in the upcoming month. Let's see how I will do. Let me know if you guys have any ideas on how to use some of these shades, especially maybe that teal. I'm definitely gonna try and use this with the greens in my Pendos eyeshadows and see how I feel about that. Yeah, that's it for today. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I hope to see you in one of my next videos. Bye bye.